Howdy, I'm Grey Pilgrim, and this is North American Arms 22 caliber mini-revolver black powder. I tried it once already, and well, I'll tell you about that at the desktop, but we're going to experiment with it. Let's get it so you can see here. Yeah. Well, it works. I think one of these bullets is jammed. It is. By the way, it suggests you use number 11 caps, and I'm using number 10s. But I see what the problem is. I got one bullet not quite seated correctly. Hold on just a second. I'm going to go inside to fix that. Okay, now where was I? I've shaved off a bit of this bullet here, so it is flush now. I want to go past it because, well, I'll tell you why at the desktop, but there. That's working. Now this one. It works. Dirty, but it works. Well, as you see, this works. But it's got a few warts and all about it. You know, anytime you get a new gun, it's going to take a break-in period. It's they're going to be a little bit cranky and rusty and crusty when you try and do stuff. And this is no exception. Though this one is black powder, and oh boy, is it dirty. I gotta go wash this off. Even though stainless steel, still I don't want it tarnished. So I'm gonna get, you know, whenever you shoot a black powder gun, especially, the sun never sets on a dirty gun. Well, anyway, when you load this thing, you're supposed to load it with 0.3 grains of 3F black powder. Last night, I took this out and shot it once. And I shot it with what I thought was 0.3 grains. I dipped and filled it up. And I must have missed it or something because it was not quite enough, I guess. Because the very first time I shot it, I got the bullet stuck in the barrel. Well, so I thought, I'll be smart this time. I'll get a 0.4 grains, which is what I've got. And I tried to load that up. And I used this gizmo here. You're supposed to take the cylinder out, stuff it into this thing, and then use that to clamp it shut, to clamp it down so that the bullet seats down into the cylinder. Well, this was hurting my hand because it's that with that much powder in it, 0.1 extra grain was just a scotch too much. So I thought, aha, I'll be smart about that. So I loaded up this. I built this out of a, as I was saying before this thing rudely stopped, I machined out this gizmo from a beer bottle capper. I put this thing on it down here, which was, I machined this out, this thing here. This one is for 36 and this one is for 44. You use a Allen key to take this off, and you can use it, well, I'll show you. You take this and do this number here and take this part off, and now it's exactly the right size to fit a 44. I've got another one of these with pins of all sorts of sizes on it to fit different sized cylinders. Colt Navy, Colt Army, Remington, and even Lamont. And I could run the cylinder in and run this down on it and put a heck of a lot of leverage on it. And I got it to seat, but it had just a scotch of lead still sticking out of the cylinder. And this thing seems to have absolute critical tolerances right there. So it was having some issues. Well, So I just took it in and I took a knife and just shaved off the lead that was right on the top, and that was enough. And the last round I shot off was that 0.4 grains. And it seems to work, but produced quite a bit of smoke and crud coming out of that cylinder. And, oh, by the way, I think I was mentioning, the recommendations was number 11 CCI caps. Well, I have a bunch of old, really old Remington number 10s. So that's what I was using. And they actually fit a little bit better. The CCI 11s, they fit the nipples here, but they're loose. And I don't like loose caps because they tend to just fall off. The 10s fit perfectly. So if you have any opportunity to get a hold of CCI, Remington, Alcan, or whatever, number 10s, that's what you really want to use with this thing. Anyway, the North American Arms mini-Revolver in 22 black powder. And it comes with a whole bunch of these little bullets that, come here, that are just perfect for it. But I happen to have a 22 mold to make these things. I bet you'd have to do it with pure lead on these things, not alloy. So you'll get some pure lead if you're going to cast 22s. Anyway, I got a new gun. And it's one I've wanted for 40 some odd years. Did I tell you the whole history of this? Freedom Arms made this many years ago, many decades ago. And I used to read about it in all the gun magazines. Well, there are two companies that made these things, North American Arms and Freedom Arms. Well, North American Arms thought, well, we don't like our competitors, so the best way out is to just buy them. So they bought out Freedom Arms and took them over. Well, when they did, the inventory included a bunch of these in different states of creation. And North American Arms basically put all of them together and sold them off until they ran out of the black powder ones. And then they just focused mainly on modern smokeless. I kept writing to them and then later emailing and saying, hey, when are you guys going to come out with that black powder one again? And they never did. They always promised, and they never did. Until I went by my local Bi-Mart and I found one, and it was right there. And right now I really can't afford it, but I've wanted one of these for 40 some odd years because this is just such a cool concept. A modern stainless steel mini-Revolver in 44 black powder. I mean, I don't know if you can see, but up on the wall there's a glass case. That's full of 22s from, about the 1850s and 1860s. And those are all black powder only, 22 rimfire. I happen to have some 22 rimfire ammo that'll shoot in those things. Very few. I got about 8 rounds left. But you can pull the bullets off of a 22 short, fill it with black powder, and then put a bullet back on. And now that I got these, I've got better bullets to put on them. Anyway, just this is something I've wanted for many years, and I finally got it. And I'm a happy camper. Anyway, that's about all I got to talk about. Happy trails.